Okay, guys, we're literally on the tail end of a thunderstorm here. You can probably see some dark clouds up there, so forgive the wind a little bit. I'm actually trying to get a propagation area set up out here, and I want to use this area with the windmill and the pump over here. Mostly because this big building here, the north side of this building is the side we're standing on right now. So we don't have to use shade cloth or anything. We can actually use the north side of the building as our shade if we just build our propagation thing under here. And I have an idea of how to do it. So I'm going to try and do that. I want to put some cloth down. I'll show you. I'm going to put it right down here, and then I'm going to set some pallets on it, three long at least to start with. And then those pallets have two sides to them, and they're split in the middle, so it's a perfect spot to kind of fill up with sand and give me some runs. And then I could set up some mist irrigation on it, and it's protected from the sun from this whole building here because we're on the north side, so it won't get baked out this summer. So that's what we're going to try and do. We'll see how it goes. All right, so we got some ground cloth going down here. I'm gonna go grab a pallet or two because it is really windy. Like I said, we're still on the backside of the storm, so I'll grab a couple of those pallets and just lay them down, if not to help hold it while I staple it down. All right, so that's what we ended up with here. It is about 15 feet long, just shy of 4 foot wide, and we got the two clear paths that are 18, 20 inches, somewhere in there. Now, you can see they're open, and if I tried to fill those with sand, it would just all run out. So I did have one more pallet to make this longer, this guy here. And I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut those boards off of there, and then just staple them on both sides of these. And that way we can keep all the sand in the center here, and we'll cap off the two ends the same way with a board right across it, off of that pallet or wherever else I can scrounge some boards. And we should have all of this room right here for propagation, which is currently a whole lot more than I have right now because we're using that one tote up there, and that's currently all we have. So like I said, I could have done one more longer here, but no reason to get greedy. It's our first year doing this. We don't even know what's going to sell yet, so we're going to propagate a bunch of stuff for next year, but we don't want to get carried away and have like a whole yard full of stuff. So we're going to start small with this here, and if we think we need more this summer, we'll build more, but we'll get this set up and then we can actually start building the mist irrigation on top of it here. Before we get a bunch of carpenters in here yelling at me for green treat and all the other garbage about this isn't going to last. I know, brother. I know. Don't get upset about it. This isn't meant to last. This is a one season thing. We'll probably tear it down next year and build bigger if things work out. So if these all rot to death and they're just gone by next year, I really don't care. So that's that. We're going to go ahead and get to work on making these boards to hold sand in. All right, full transparency moment here, guys. Old hardwood pallets are really hard to tear apart. So I've opted to not. I stopped. I gave up on that. I found an old sheet of 1/4 inch plywood here, just some old junky stuff laying around in one of the shops. I know it's going to rot out even quicker, but I'm just going to grab a saw and I'm going to cut strips out of it. And we'll use it to make the sidewalls so the sand doesn't just pop right out of there. right, so there's the completed project. She's ugly, but she's functional, and it's 100% better than the one I had an hour or so ago. The only part I'm worried about is these end caps here. That's really thin plywood, and the weight of the sand might actually push them out. It can't on the other pieces, but on those end caps it certainly could, so I may have to shore them up a little bit. But other than that, it's ready for sand, and then it's ready for an irrigation system, and then we can actually start putting stuff in it. So step one done. All right, we got the beds all made up over there for the propagation beds out of pallets, but we need some sand or something to put in there. Fortunately and unfortunately, we had a load of gravel delivered for the driveway just last week here, but most of it was sand. I would say probably 80% of it was sand, which is way more sandy than I want for the driveway. So we're going to make some lemonade out of lemons. We're going to use some of that. I'm going to grab the little tractor over here. We're just going to grab a small scoop of it. We're going to go get it in the beds and smooth it out, and then we'll be completely done other than the irrigation system. So let's go get that done. All right, so that's about what one scoop gets us. We'll smooth it out and see how far we get. All right, so that doesn't get us very far, but at least we now know probably going to take 4 or 5 scoops to fill this thing up. So we're just going to grab the tractor and go get them. All right, that's it right there. We are full up with sand, mostly sand, gravelly sand, and it is ready for some propagation. Minus the misting system, which we still have to set up. But during all this, it didn't take me long to realize we have one large oversight. Since we've never had a nursery out here before, we wouldn't have run into this. But essentially what I've set up here, according to the livestock on the property, which is basically just cats and wildlife, is a giant litter box. And they're very appreciative, but I'm not. So I got to find a way to keep the cats out of this, which will probably be my next project. Before I put any plants in that, I want to make sure the cats aren't just digging them up and using this as a giant litter box. So I'm going to get to exploring ideas for that. I'll get back with you. All right, guys, we considered our options, and the fastest and easiest way to make sure the cats aren't in the garden beds is just go ahead and shoot all the cats. No, I'm kidding. The cats actually serve a purpose out here. They're all farm cats, and they do keep a lot of things down. They keep the moles and their little ground squirrels out of here. They even take down quite a few rabbits during the season, so they earn their keep, so we got to let them stay. We just got to protect the bed. We thought of a different way to do it. I didn't want to use chemicals or anything like that because I don't like having to reapply everything every single time it rains like it did today. So we went a little different way. We figured if we can mess with the cat's feet and make it uncomfortable to get in the beds in the first place, that would probably be the easiest way to keep them out of it. So here's what we come up with. Let us know what you think. All right, so we got some 2-foot tall rabbit cage, rolled rabbit cage wire. I put two strips of it, one on each side, and they overlap in the middle. And we could still very much kind of get in here to plant stuff. We can do all our stuff. But walking on that for a cat would be fairly uncomfortable. I don't think they're going to enjoy it. Got a staple in there. So I'm hoping that actually does the trick. I've never done it before. I'm just going to watch it over the next few days and see what the cats do with it. I know they found this thing immediately as soon as I put it up and put sand in it. So they know it's here. So I think now it's just a matter of watching and see what they actually do and how they act around it. But I think maybe that'll solve our problem. So again, now we are officially done, minus the misting system, which the parts came for that today, or most of them did. So I can start working on that soon. But for now, we have this ready to go. So that's a pretty good accomplishment for today. I think we'll call her quits for now, and we'll come back to it later when we're actually ready to get the misting system put up, once I decide how I'm going to do that. So all right guys, we will see you next time.